When do you propose to do that? Lunch is better for me. After 5th, no, but during 5th, fine. I leave today at 1:58.5. AKA right after 5th. Hi. Do you make up your exam too, Kyle, or just stay with it?
Yeah.
You do? When do you propose to do that?
Lunch?
Tight. All right, next. Excuse me. I may have forgotten to tell you, oh yeah, you're supposed to keep that map and you're supposed to keep adding to it. It's a way to organize your knowledge on paper. So like I mentioned yesterday, where you do all of your studying on paper by adding content and crossing off what you know when asked for recall. The map is just another place to do that. Any visual, spatial places, you can put all the places on the map. Yeah.
SAT or
Students, there might be other students at other schools that have heard things from their teacher that you haven't heard from your teacher. I am more or less perfect. But you know, they might know something that I've taught but I forgot to tell you. Anybody else? I want to make sure that there aren't any questions about these topics because I'm getting ready to move on from them. Are there any questions about my proposal and how one of you should be studying, how you should all be studying? Yes? Everything that you can have is in the back. Are there any questions about what your choices currently are for extra credit? So does anybody want to ask me about the one that's due on Friday? Yeah. Next assignment, as in 11.1 is due tomorrow. Extra credit 3 is practice multiple choice exams. What else? No other questions about extra credit? Everybody else knows what you're doing and what to expect? Yes?
When do we get the packet stamp?
I'll get to that. Are there any questions about the review materials and the flow of review materials and what you should do what with what with what? How to use what I've given you and what else is coming and what I intend for you to do any of that? Wicked good.
Passing the exams, how would you be able to pass the exam?
You can take a date with me, but you might remember how at every exam I recommended that you write down the things that you get wrong. If you didn't do that, I'm happy to meet with everyone in my class during the appropriate time. We've got to figure out when that appropriate time is. Yes.
So the extra credit one Friday, are the prompts like on the packet you gave us? Or do we look at that? Like how do we find it?
There's a packet of.
That's what like I have it, I was just asking.
How did you get it?
Oh, it's not the same packet that we already got? I don't know, okay. I don't know
There's a book of all the free response questions that I've ever been asked by a colleague. That one. Finally, in this class, did we ever look at the main review packet? I gave you that one 3 or 4 days ago. Please take out that packet. It has a Sharpie writing on the top that says the main review packet. Oh, God. How come you all don't have this? How many of you already got one and you lost it, so you're using the second one? 'Cause I don't make enough copies for this. These are not supposed to be disposable. If you're taking a second one, will you please put it back? Yes, Colton.
Let's do have more of the packets today.
What?
We have more packets today.
Do we have more?
No, more packets today. They bring them all yesterday.
I'll get to that. Please look up. This is called the main review packet, and it's titled that way. I am surprised that almost half the class didn't have it. It came out on Thursday last week? Yeah, you got it Thursday last week. I'd like to flip through this packet with you.
Almost says no, you have one. So I checked the computer lab.
Ask Jesus, who should be in the little tiny secret office at the front of that computer lab.
Alright,
And do you have all the blanks and the originals somewhere?
not with me, but I can take them.
You don't need to take them, but ask him if he's got a place where you can do that. Almost any computer should have CD burning capacity.
Yeah, I don't know why they did the Mac now. Like they have the nicest Mac.
The PCs are easy to use, and if you can get into the lab for a whole period, you can run 30 machines at once. So by the time you get back to the first one, it would have already burned, so you can just like cycle through it in a few minutes.
Do I have to download it to all of them?
I can bet you it's on all of them, but ask him, he'll help you. Okay, I want everybody to flip through this packet with me. The first page, you've probably seen already. The hints for doing well on the AP exam. Shut up, Colton. Be a quit distracting the boys. On that one, well, boys, quit distracting me. I don't care. On that one, that double-sided paper, you've already seen that. I gave it to you at the beginning of the year. The second paper is the official College Board description of what's on the exam. That's the topics that they distribute points into. So 10 to 15% of the test will ask you Earth system and resource questions. And 10 to 15% of the test will ask you questions about the living world. And 10 to 15 will ask you about population, and 10 to 15 on land and water, and 10 to 15 on whatever. And there's a lot of stuff on pollution, and then 10 to 15 on global change. Yeah.
What's a noise pollution?
Noise pollution is sound that is both a distraction to humans and can also scare off wildlife.
What is related to that?
What?
Like that one.
Yeah, like that. If birds were trying to nest, they wouldn't choose to use those trees because there's a construction project going. So a lot of wildlife is excluded from habitated areas because of the noise made by the humans. Of course, it also adds stress to humans. So like I'm losing my voice because I have to yell a little louder than usual because there's heavy metal down there.
What's thermoflation? I assume like pure Wisconsin.
Yeah. So it's hot water, usually. I mean, it is when the temperature is not what it's supposed to be. But the main type of thermal pollution is hot water in cool water areas. Because hot water holds less oxygen, it affects productivity, and that change in productivity can affect ecological activity and kind of shrink the food web. Separately, migratory species can get confused or lost. Because they're like, oh my god, I found Mexico, and then they'll stop at the power plant outflow. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And biogeochemical cycles, like the carbon cycle, and the
Yes.
phosphorus cycle.
Biogeochemical means stuff in life and rocks and chemicals. Okay, next comes a 5-page list of like the really most basic review stuff. Pierce with the headphones. Those 5 pages, what are you listening to, by the way? I'm just curious. I'm not judging you. Just tell me what it is. I know, but what? I want to imagine what the soundtrack is in your head when I don't catch you. What is it? Just say it. It's fine. Can somebody please tell me what Pierce listens to? What is this a band that is it music?
It's a rapper.
Okay, and what is this rapper? Who is this rapper? What, dude? Why is this a big deal? I didn't mean to.
For listening.
What?
They make fun of me for listening.
They have no taste. Look at them. Go ahead.
This guy named Bones.
That is the actual rapper name?
Yeah, that is his name.
Is this like an independent musician or is it part of like a major label?
Yeah.
What? Why is this such a... Stop laughing. If you can't stop laughing, you'll have to go outside. I'm trying to have a conversation with Pierce. It doesn't concern you. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Pierce. I'm just asking, bro.
He's a single guy, but he has a group that's like a part of other groups too.
Anybody else that I would know?
No.
You have a horrible television show.
Are you gonna pull some up? Is that what you're doing right now?
I was trying to. Is that bad?
On the TV.
No, you
How would you describe his rap music? Oh, he's white.
Yeah, he's white.
Because are they all white? Are they called Bones? Okay, fine. Elmo O'Connor. How cute, O'Connor. He's from Muir Beach, California. Frenetic Pace. He's put out a lot of music. I like that. And he resists signing with a major label. Okay. Can we share music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you'll like some of it. Yeah.
I have a gigantic music collection. Have we talked about this? I have like 785 gigabytes of music. My rap genre is like 250 gigs, I think.
Okay.
I might have something you want.
Okay.
Okay. So, 5 pages of the basics, the fundamentals of like just how not to fail in apes. Like if you don't know those 5 pages, you're gonna fail.
He's not there. I can't find him.
F. Like, your full-time job until it's completed is to make copies of CDs.
I'll
Try something else. See if maybe you can use my computer. I'm not using it today. You can just shrink the windows that are open, but don't close any because I need them for attendance and stuff. I need copies of CDs. Make it work somehow.
what's the biggest thing
Not much. I mean, percolating is what happens as it goes through something. Leaching is when something like seeps out of something. They're both describing parts of the same idea, that water, gravity, substance goes through. Percolation is the process of working its way through the particulates. Leaching is the process of exiting the mass.
could you, like on like a food box, could you use those words like interchangeably?
Not exactly, but they'll probably, like water percolates through the coffee or water leaches out of the coffee filter. I'm talking about the same thing. After those 5 pages of the very basic, most mandatory fundamentals, comes some chemistry review. That's 2 pages. That's all the chemistry this year, plus a little section on pH. which I haven't exactly taught you, but they do sometimes ask about. That's sort of like basic chemistry, so I didn't know where to fit it in. But anyway, that's all the chemistry of apes, followed by math practice problems for apes. I have a lot more. If you like math practice, I've got pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of math practice. But get ready to write. On the page of the math problems, there are 4 things that they expect you to have in your math skill set. Number 1, common metric system. Millimeter, centimeter, meter, kilometer, milligram, gram, kilogram. I really can't think of any of the others that they would ask you. It's the basics of the metric system.
How to convert?
Yeah, like it's 1,000 to 100 to 1 to 1,000, you know. They also want you to know the units of time. How many seconds in a minute, how many minutes in an hour, in a day, in a week, in a month, in a year. I'm guessing everybody's okay with that. They'll often do like, if it rains this much per year, what's the average rainfall per second? Like, so you just have to like convert units of time. You need to know scientific notation and decimals. Nothing that fancy. But if they give you like a million of something, and then you got to take a millionth of it, and then a millionth of that, it's easier to just do it in scientific notation. You can probably do all of this, like little 4th grade tricks to deal with all the zeros. But it really helps if you know that like 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 with 9 zeros. There's a 3 and 3 and 3. So basic scientific notation is important. And then you have to know the basic area volume stuff. Like area of a square, volume of a rectangle, that kind of thing. Then there's a couple of pages of math reference. You don't have to memorize these. These are just supposed to help you. They would usually give you most of that. They won't give you the decimals. They would give you most of the other conversions here. You only have to know the ones that I told you already. Next comes a page on how to design experiments. That's a really good skill to practice for the APES exam. Followed by 100 of the most famous invasive species worth knowing. Followed by the 10 most toxic places on the planet, also just worth knowing. Would anyone like to ask me anything about what I've said so far? Erica, put away your cell phone. Yes. Yes. You would not have to memorize that because that's not one of the common metrics. They would give you those conversions. That's right. What else? Yeah?
Is the only other mathematic equation that is like specific to apes like the rule of 70?
Can anybody think of another one that we've used specific to apes? I hate to say the only of anything, but that sounds right. What else? Yeah.
Do you have anything besides the multiple choice, the response questions, the essay question?
No. Some people refer to a free response question as an essay question, but that's a misnomer.
And there's 5 of them, or 4 of them?
4 free response questions. Each one has a 2-part. Farmer, you gotta get class on time, bro. You're technically absent today.
Ooh, my
Feel
bad.
free to really ask me. Anybody else? Yes. 70 divided by growth rate equals doubling time. Yeah.
Are we gonna know like the formula
No. What else? Nobody else?
What?
Now, over the next few days, there's a lot of things for you to keep track of. I've made a handy little list to help
I
you.
don't know what the time screensaver, but it's only installed why.
Okay.
I think I've got it down now.
Can you need? No, need this.
Our database. And this one.
Don't forget, there's a few things that are going to keep happening while we are rushing through the next few weeks. You need to keep in mind that it's now on you to find a time that I'm available. This is not class time unless we're done with class during class time. To make sure that your grades have been corrected, check the Stratford box, check the returns, check with me, check the grade book. You're on grade corrections. I just put them into the computer when they're on the paper. Number 2, make sure that your solar house has been graded. Anybody still need to grade their solar house in this room? Okay, it's on you to find a time when we can schedule this. Just so you know, this week I think I'm busy now all lunches. Next. Wait, I'm done. When I have time in class, I can give you credit for the remaining packets of packets. You gotta bring me all the packets of packets. Because I need to compare your handwriting to make sure you're not giving me lilies or something. So some days in the next couple of weeks, I'll say, is there anything else? And then I'll have like 10 minutes left to the bell. That's when you can get my attention to improve your grade for the packets of packets. Yeah? You probably want to wait until I've done the packets of packets before you turn it in for recording. You understand what I said? Ask her.
Are the packages
No. Okay. Next. Good or no? Next. Keep track of your extra credit options and stuff. A lot of my kids will miss a Monday or they'll miss a Friday and they're kind of be stuck. Everybody tries to turn in extra credit 2 when it's extra credit number 3. Just make sure that you know those. Mondays and Fridays, no exceptions. Make sure you know what's coming next. I'll give you a giant hint. It really helps. Especially because the final is on stuff that I give you to review before the final. Next. It's on you to do your own studying and review stuff. And whenever possible, I'm always going to be asking the class, does anybody have any ideas for the end of the year project? Yeah. What? Yes. So now, are there any questions on anything that I have said so far today? Yes.
For the 5 pages of basic course outline, should we be adding those to our notes as a way of studying and then?
Yes, you should be adding those to your notes if you do my recommended type of study. Reading them in print is very not helpful. Mathematically, your rate of recall will be a small fraction of what you would get if you just merely rewrote that. And if you rewrite it in a spatially organized manner, like into the appropriate units, your rate of recall improves on the other stuff in those units. What else? Okay, now, oh yes.
Anything like that in notes? Are you saying that you can take that, or going on
You mean to read?
you can't study it?
There is no studying that's not your notes. We don't call that studying. If you want stuff to read, you could read the Smarty Pants Guide, and the internet has a lot of information.
Good.
great photography. Naughty brother.
So that it works, so all you need is a PowerPoint slideshow and the please read doc? Are those the two things you
No, there's a
need?
folder of something called AP.
Because I downloaded this to the thing to get it. And
Yes, that.
Okay, perfect.
You can just put it into another computer to make sure that it's reading right.
Okay, I will.
And yeah, if that works, man, go all out.
So is this extra credit? Are we supposed to actually write the things down?
Not there on a separate sheet of
And
paper.
next dot, one right there, and put it in dot. Yeah.
Are there any other questions for me?
Thank you.
All right, childrens. Now, I'd like to finish the school year and start talking about the rest of our lives together. I work because I need the money. I wouldn't come here if they weren't paying me. If I had enough money, I'd probably live on a sailboat in the tropics somewhere. But if I gotta have a job, this is the best job for me. I really like my job. Funny thing is, you all realize I'm kind of skeptical about the public education system, right? I mean, let's be honest, if anybody here succeeds in life, it's probably not going to be because you went to high school. Most of you might succeed in spite of what happens in high school. And sadly, some of you have been ruined by high school and will spend the rest of your life trying to make up for that. AKA my life. So frankly, my enthusiasm about how I change the world through public education, my enthusiasm is measured, to say it mildly. Here's what I can tell you. I like that I teach environmental science. Of all the subjects you get in high school, I'm glad I get to give you this one. A couple of you already were into this crap, and then I gave it to you, and you're like, okay, great. Jose was the guy that taught me, but I would have been learning this anyway. I can't flatter myself. And most of you never cared about this and are going to leave never caring about it either. And maybe a couple of you were cautiously open-minded and have been made slightly more so. I consider that a great success. I'm proud of this job. But we all know that real life is not like high school. Thank God. The skills you've learned are pretty much leave it at the door when you leave. So as a teacher, I have the unusual luxury, because I teach an environmental science AP class, to do something else for the last few weeks of the year. That's called the Your World Project. I honestly believe that the Your World Project is a little tiny miniature controlled high school safe version of the real world. If you want to start an organization to address a social issue that you care about, the Your World Project is a pretty good first experience of how to do that. No joke. Like if you want to get out into the real world, not the high school world, and soon enough you're going to have to, so whatever. That Your World instruction packet, that'll probably give you some useful experience in how to do that. So I actually do take the Your World Project kind of seriously. That's why it's worth 1/2 of your second semester grade. You all grab the packet in the back. I'd like you to read the first page, then put the packet on top of your head when you've read the entire first page. It's size 9 font, single space, 1/4 inch margins or something, so take your time. mean, what's the turnaround time on that?
Like 30 seconds each.
Big and hard.
That computer's being all sketched and wouldn't even read anything, so I don't know how good they are, but if I go test one in the computer lab when I'm done, that computer, like, I just put it in there to keep from saying reading. Like, over
That
and
could be
over.
bad. Are they finalized?
Yeah, when it says it's successfully, okay. I'll say done.
Does it say you can allow changes later, or does it say close it up so that it doesn't have any more changes later?
I
You want this one?
oh,
That's why it's got copies.
okay.
How many did you make?
3. I think how much should be later. Yeah, I made this will be my third. What does that do?
Yeah, put it here. I use that one, put it face side up so I'll know it's tracked. Yeah. That's Windows, the viewers.
Okay, cool. And then now I'll be tracked to
No, you might still be able to finalize it and then keep it in there. Go back to the burn option and then press finalize and see if it will allow you to finalize it now. When you've read the entire first page, put the packet on your note. I can only do it. And Erica Foster, you go. Yes, I do think that would be a very good studying tool, yes. Okay. So that's your description of the project. As you saw in the packet, my idea here is you actually get to complete something. It's got a lot of points. Your work will be seen by a lot of people, including judges. We're going to talk a lot about how to pick a campaign, but the secret is you got to find something that you can do. Most of what my high school kids say is they want someone else to do something. Like, I want to get the district to change the toilets. That's not you actually doing something, that's you picking something for someone else to do. And I'll just let you know that the last month of the school year, the district is not interested in your suggestions at all. Welcome to my life. Also, a lot of kids think that the world is the way it is because someone just hasn't heard your hippie propaganda. That's not you doing something. That's just you wasting a bunch of flyers on people who don't care about it. So we got to find a way that you can do something to directly fix something which is broken, and make sure it'll stay fixed when you're gone. Hold that thought.
still not working on the lab.
Let's try a different computer.
They don't have a laptop with them?
Will they have a laptop? Never go for a walk.
Come on, you guys are mad.
Maybe next door. Maybe JD has something. Or Steven at the end of the thing. That's probably right.
Alright.
You're going to be organized like this, with a board of directors, all the students in committees. You'll all cross-pollinate. When research has extra time, they might help with outreach. When outreach has extra time, they might help with production and vice versa. The board of directors is in charge of what all the students do. There is a nebulous and slightly secretive connection between the president and myself, but most of you will not interact with me anymore once this project starts. I'm still your teacher, so if there's like grade issues or environmental science stuff, sure. But since your only job is the project, you're not going to deal with me on that project. Those executives, they do a lot of extra time, extra work. But basically everybody has to work the whole time. Think about it. You represent 23 of the smartest people in Santa Barbara right now. Well, 22 plus 10. And then, you're gonna have like 5 weeks of class time, that's like 25 hours. Plus, you're gonna have like an equal number of hours at home to be reasonable for an AP class, 50 hours to go after the AP test. For each of 22 geniuses plus 10. Anybody good at math? What is that? 1,200 hours? If you were a business and I had to pay for 1,200 hours of labor, what are you going to show me? If you're getting California minimum wage, that's what, like $8 today? $9? What's the minimum wage right now?
Going up to 10 in 2020.
Maybe $10? 10? Yeah. So that's $120,000 of labor costs. What's your project going to show me for $120,000 of labor costs? Yeah, you can please pull that door almost until it latches shut. My idea is that you're going to have to actually like make decisions together and then pick people together and then work together to do something meaningful. Which basically is what all of life is. That's like real actual life skills in my opinion. That's my version of life. Like I do want to make a positive impact. I'm not just out to get the cheddar. Cash does not rule everything around me. That's a rap reference, kids. Uh-oh. Pulled it all the way shut, eh?
We're chilling. It works on the, yeah.
It does? Wicked, Hans. I really take this project seriously. I really do kind of believe in this. Like, as far as what I can pull off at school with this many people and this much time, given your education and like our resources and stuff, like I really think this is actually a real thing. Students in the past have often felt really excited about this. Like, you're gonna raise your own money to like build your own brand, to like do your own stuff, to like actually do something that we're gonna present to like 150 judges in the theater. Your board of directors is gonna get like all dressed up in like coordinated clothing in front of like a humongous screen. And we're gonna like feed judges and invite the whole community of the school and like fill the theater and like you guys are all gonna be like, we did this, and you're gonna show off what you did. This ends up in like 1 trillion college essays. I've had a lot of universities reach out to me and say like, hey, a lot of the students are mentioning these things, and tell us more about that project. You'll have a web presence, you'll have a community presence, you're gonna give lectures to like little kids in public schools. You're gonna create outreach materials and like, there's a couple of weeks to do all that. Yeah. Yes. You're one entire group broken up into little subgroups.
The whole class.
Yeah, the whole class. You'll be graded in 4 parts: your individual grade, your committee grade, and your whole class grade. The panel of judges will just see what you pull off. They don't really care how you do it. I just grade you on what you're doing. I don't really care what you pull off. So your personal role, your group role, your outcomes, and how you got there. 4 parts of your grade. Which coincidentally, I think is kind of like how my professional life is evaluated. I personally strive to optimize all 4 parts of my professional evaluation in that way. Who has questions on the first page of the packet? Now listen carefully. You're going to have to do more reading, but I want everybody to pay attention. Read just the jobs, then put it on your head. When you've read the jobs, put that thing on your head. Well, that's close enough. The idea is, like, we have like a management plan to make sure that everybody's got something to do, that everybody's working as part of the same effort. Everybody wants to go lone wolf. I'm like, friggin' Allie totally let me down. I was going to do this. And I'll just give you a hint right now. When everybody goes rogue, the class project flounders. The whole point is, and I'll walk you through this, to stick within an organizational scheme. I'll help you do that. That's one of the things that I reinforce often to the president. Everybody has to have something to do. Nobody gets to sit around. You've got 5 smart people that you selected to make sure that everybody's working on something. So when they tell you to work on something, I'm sorry you voted for them. Welcome to life. That's the mark. There's individual jobs. Just like a real job, being absent doesn't mean that you are excused from work. So excusing your absences is an attendance matter at the school. But here for the project, I don't even care if you're present or absent or whatever. Somebody else takes attendance. It's not me. I check out. You're supposed to make sure that your stuff gets done whether you're here or whether you're in the play or whether you have, broken leg or whatever. Yes? Lady Vibrant, was your hand up?
How do we elect those officials?
You will have an election. Heads up, 7 up. You can self-nominate or peer nominate. All nominees need to look at the list and accept the nomination. And then everybody goes heads up, 7 up, and votes secretly. Are there any questions about that? Oh, when we have a topic. We gotta have a topic first so that we know that we pick the right person for the right job. Because for some things, you might be the right person, but for something else, he might be the right person, and for a different topic, she might be the right person. I'd like everyone to read President and Board of Directors, then put it on your head again. President and Board of Directors only. OMG, tomorrow's 420. Exactly.
I heard kids talking about the hall, like outside,
You heard kids talking about what?
like how bad the hall smells outside.
Oh, well.
So it's not just me. Or my upper lip, as you would say.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm going to have to move quickly. Please rush, President and Board of Directors. Well, I fear some of you are still reading, but I got to do this thing. It's important, you can put that in the number 2. It's important to me that everybody understands what these people do. Are there any questions about their jobs? Later on, I'll ask you to know what the committees do. You have a couple of days, but please keep this somewhere prominent in your paperwork so you can read the committee descriptions. There will come a time when I ask everybody to decide which committee they go in, and if you don't know, you're going to be stuck in a committee you may not want to be in. So I'll leave it up to you to know what the committees are responsible for. I will not help you choose. Once you're in there, you will be unhappy if it's the wrong committee. Trust me on that.
Yeah.
Now, please go to the end and read the work. Later on, you're going to need to read the weekly reports, which is the way that weekly the board of directors convinces me that everybody's been working and has a plan to keep working. I'll meet with the board of directors, but just so you know, That usually looks like about 10 or 15 pages per committee per week. Not the end of the world, but it is like assembling a lot of information. And then, the last thing you need to read is the Now Get Started. I know that it's kind of lame to sit there and read all day. It's probably tough to do this. It's a big whoop and we're almost done. Just read the Now Get Started and then you're really good to go. I know it's a lot of reading. Okay. If you want, you can read the 3 different rubrics that are used in 3 different places. The one for the students, the one for the executives, and the one that the judges use to grade you. You'll all know how to get a good grade because there's the rubric that will be used. Who's got questions about this project? This would be the time to ask. Yeah. We can go over that sometime, and if you have free time, all those folders are the past 13 years of records. What else? Yeah.
What kind of amendment does the board committee have to make?
Pretty much just kind of getting it done. You can ask previous students, it's a significant investment of time for everyone. The directors are usually busier with coordination and planning and communicating. They're like management positions, so they're always on the phone. They don't necessarily work 4 hours, but they often end up working 4 hours. Then again, they get a bonus. Yeah.
This might have been a meeting, but how many people are on the board of directors?
That isn't a good. That isn't a good. What up? Yeah.
Was last
It's also on the board, it's already there.
was last year's project like the biggest
There may have been an e-waste project last year. There were 6 projects last year. I think it was an e-waste project last year, that sounds right. Yeah, there was an e-waste one last year.
What did they like do with all of that?
They did 2 different things. They gave some stuff to Computers for Families that salvages retail electronics to be donated to the community so that every home has computer access. The rest they took to a certified waste e-waste thing down south somewhere. And you can ask Sable Lehman, I believe she was president. Also Kip Lawrence was in that, if you remember. What else? I want to help you. It's a big job. Yeah?
Has any group ever gone outside of Santa Barbara?
No, it has to be sort of localized.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is it just the community directors or whatever, are they the ones that do the presentation at the end of the assignment?
The board of directors presents at the end of the assignment. What else? Beep. Bells are broken. Sorry, I don't know that.